mid-December, and New York was drowning in that specific kind of cold. The kind where Christmas lights glow warmly, but somehow just make the darkness around them feel deeper. Marlena, an accountant at a bustling downtown firm, was counting the days until Christmas. It was her favorite time of year. The office hummed with a festive energy, fairy lights draped over cubicle walls, decorated trees in every corner, and secret Santa gifts piling up on desks. Laughter filled the air, a welcome mask for the year's exhaustion. And right there, on Marlene's desk, sat a small black box. It was wrapped neatly in glossy paper, tied with a perfect purple ribbon, her favorite color. She smiled, expecting something cheerful. But when she opened it, the smile vanished. Inside was a small, Santo-shaped Christmas ornament. A wave of unease washed over her. It wasn't new. It was old, filthy, and torn in places. It was stained with dark, unidentifiable marks, and one of its tiny arms was broken off. The paint on its face was peeling, and where its eyes should have been, there were just two empty white dots, staring blankly back at her. A chill crawled up her spine. Shaking her head, she quickly tossed it into the trash can under her desk. It had to be a bad joke, right? She forced herself to forget it, losing herself in the office celebrations, convinced that was the end of it. But that night, it wasn't the end. Marlena jolted awake to a strange, high-pitched laughter echoing in her room. Her heart hammered against her ribs. When she forced her eyes open, she saw it. The same disgusting Santa ornament was sitting on her bed. Except now, it was as tall as a man. Before a scream could even form in her throat, its cold, hard hands wrapped around her neck, tightening their grip. Its hollow eyes widened, and a stream of writhing worms began to crawl out, spilling onto her body. All the while, it laughed, that piercing laugh, and whispered, its voice a dry rattle, "Don't forget to open tomorrow's gift." Suddenly, she woke up, gasping for air, drenched in sweat. It was morning. The sun was filtering through her blinds. It was just a nightmare, she told herself. A horrible, vivid nightmare, but the relief was short-lived. When she got to the office, she found a second gift waiting on her desk. Another black box. This time, inside, was a bracelet braided from real human hair. It was brown, with a slight curl, disturbingly familiar. A small metal heart was attached, and scratched onto the back were the words, "Asterisk, I'm right here, asterisk." Her stomach turned, Sefeltsi. Her colleague saw her reaction and laughed it off as a bizarre prank. But the hair haunted her. She knew she'd seen that exact shade, that same curl before, but she couldn't place it. The memory danced just out of reach. That night, fear returned with a vengeance. She locked her door, triple-checked the windows, and left every light in the apartment on. But it didn't matter. She heard the laughter again, a faint giggle from the hallway. Then, she felt its invisible fingers wrapping around her throat, squeezing. She thrashed, her eyes snapping open to find the room completely empty. But the bracelet, the one made of human hair, was now wrapped tightly around her wrist. In a panic, she grabbed a pair of scissors and cut it off, throwing the disgusting thing across the room. The moment it hit the floor, the laughter echoed again, louder this time, coming from the living room. One by one, the lights in her apartment began to burst, plunging her into darkness. She fumbled for her phone, but the screen was dead. Armed with the scissors, her only weapon, she stepped cautiously into the living room. There, standing by her beautiful Christmas tree, was the Santa creature. It was even more grotesque than in her nightmare. In its hand, it held the hair bracelet. It turned its head, its neck cracking, and repeated the same words. "Your third gift is waiting." The terror was too much. Her vision blurred, and she fainted. The next morning, she woke up on her living room floor. The house was perfectly normal. The lights worked. There were no signs of a break-in. She was starting to think she was losing her mind, that the stress was finally breaking her. At work, she tried to act normal, but her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Later that day, she opened her desk drawer to get a pen, and her heart stopped. Terry Eat was the third gift. It was a Polaroid photo, a photo of her bedroom. Her curtains, her lamp, her bedsheets. Everything was identical, and in the corner of the frame, A blurry shadow stood, wearing what looked like a Santa hat. She went to security, frantic. They checked the cameras for the entire previous night and that morning. They found nothing. No one had come near her desk. No one had entered her office. After that, the laughter followed her everywhere. A quiet giggle in a silent hallway. A cackle from an empty cubicle. It was there during the day. It was there at night. She was consumed by panic attacks. By a paranoia so deep she started checking every cabinet, every closet, suspecting everyone. Her friends grew distant, worried and unable to help. She was losing her job, her friends, her sanity, and the gifts kept appearing, no longer at the office, but at her home, waiting for her on her doorstep, on air pillow, in air fridge. Christmas Eve arrived. The city outside was alive with cheer, but Marlene's apartment was a prison of fear. At exactly midnight, a knock echoed through the silence. She froze. Slowly, she crept to the door and looked through the peephole. Nothing. She cautiously opened it. On her doormat lay a final black box. Inside was a torn envelope. Her hands trembled as she pulled out the note. It read, "Asterisk, you broke my heart. Now I will destroy everything asterisk." It was signed with a name that made her blood run cold. Reynold. Reynold. A quiet co-worker who had vanished the previous Christmas. He had proposed to her, hiding a ring inside a secret Santa gift. A proposal she had rejected, coldly and without a second thought. As the devastating realization hit her, the room filled with the sickening stench of decay. A cold breath brushed against her ear. She spun around. There, standing in front of her Christmas tree, was Reynold. He wore the horrifying Santa costume from her nightmares. His body was rotted, his skin peeling away from the bone. Her name was carved over and over again into his decaying flesh. He smiled, a broken, lipless grin, and told her that her final gift was waiting. She screamed and lunged at him. But her hands passed right through his body as if he were smoke. The truth crashed down on her. Reynold had taken his own life, for her. He was a ghost, and he had come back to give her his heart. Piece by agonizing piece. When neighbors broke down the door after hearing her screams, they found Marlene dead on her sofa. Her eyes were pitch black, her body ice cold. The apartment was untouched, perfectly normal, except for one thing. In the corner, her Christmas tree was broken and toppled, and underneath it, the old, filthy Santa ornament sat smiling, surrounded by piles of black gift boxes. Each one was labeled, asterisk, "Merry Christmas, from Marlene and Reynold asterisk." Later, the police made a gruesome discovery. They uncovered Reynold's corpse, buried in Marlene's small garden. The coroner confirmed he had been dead for over a year, long before the first gift ever appeared. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.